Jungkook was standing waiting for his bride, and after 5 minutes his wait was over. His bride coming, walking from the door. His heart dancing in his chest, he came down from the stage and held her right hand with a big smile. Won was so nervous she was shaking. Jungkook walked on the stage with Wyan. They both facing each other. Jungkook didn't leave her hand even once. Wyan's heart bouncing in her chest when the priest begins the ritual. Jungkook held her shivering hands tightly in his. Wyan looked at him and he smiled to her. Do you take Jung Jungkook as your lovely husband, Miss Kim Wyan? Yes, I do. She looks down, her cheeks turn red. Do you take Kim Wyan as your lovely wife, Mr. Jung Jungkook? Yes, I do. Without wasting any 1 second, he said, "It's my great honor and my great joy to pronounce you husband and wife. Now you may the bride," he said and took his way aside. Jungkook looked at Wyan with a smile. Jungkook leaned down a little and grabbed her chin with his fingers, and raised her face and looked into her eyes. Then he asked politely, "May I?" Wyan blushed and nodded her head, and in the next moment Jungkook touched Wyan's. He was so happy he wants to hold her like this in his entire life. Wyan was also so happy having her dream boy in her life in real. They both left after the wedding ends. Jungkook take Wyan in his bedroom and place her on the bed softly. Wyan looked at him with all her red face, her heartbeat racing. Jungkook stood straight and loosened his tie, then he lay on the bed and put his head on Wyan's lap. Wyan smiled and caressing his hair softly. Finally, he takes a deep breath. "I finally got you." He smiles and put his hand on her head, tilting her face down towards him. "You are mine, baby." Wine giggles. "Yes, I'm all yours, and you are mine." She on Jungkook's forehead. "I did wait for this moment so long," he said, looking into her deep eyes. "Me too. I did waiting for belonging you." She teared up. "And finally that day come. My dream comes true. I wonder how I'm this much lucky." Jungkook sits straight and wipes her tears, then on her eyes lovingly. "Don't cry. It's hurting me to see you cry. I love you." He hugged her. "I love you too, Cookie." Jungkook's smile tightened his grip on her waist, closing the distance between them. Wine broke the hug and looked at him with a smile. "Wyan," he looked at her, "I want to make you all mine tonight." Wyan's throat parched, and his gaze zeroed on her mouth. "Can I?" he asked softly. Wyan didn't look away. Her smile assured him that she was ready, ready to give her soul to him. Wyan sniffed when Jungkook trailed his fingers down her and over her shoulder. His lips curved into a smirk. "Nervous?" he asked while his hand dipped lower, closer to the of her. She nodded her head as no. Her pulse throbbed through every inch of her body. Jungkook grazed his thumb over her. She moaned. Moaned from a touch that lasted less than 2 seconds. "I want to die," she thought when Jungkook dropped his hand. Her breath was heavy. "What my baby really want?" he asked. Back away from her, she frowned. I, is it the question for asking? Seriously? Making her whole wet between her. Now he asked what she want. Of course she want him. She want to devour him. She was so nervous to tell him what she actually want from her husband. Can't he just understand? Or maybe he knew it, just teasing her. I want to sleep. Now it's her turn. What? He widened his eyes, watching her laying on bed. You can't sleep tonight, he complained, and her lips curved into a smirk. Why? You ask me what I want, so if I wasn't asked and do what I want, you will let me do? Maybe she knew what she was doing. Is that so? Yup. Then let me show you. He turned her and hovering over her. Next morning, Vine opened her eyes and saw the beautiful scene in front of her, the scene she didn't even look in her dreams, scaring of that it will hurt her, but now it come true, it's real. He, Jung Jungkook, sleeping in front of her as her husband. The view make her lips curled up into a smile. She placed her hand on her face, which was laying on her chest. She smiled, looking at him. Jungkook slowly moved his head, then realization hit her that she was not only her but him too. She widened her eyes, was about to stand, but where are you going, princess? His eyes closed, but he awake, holding her in his arms more tightly. Her breath stopped when his cold hand touched her waist. I was going to. She was so nervous. Jungkook deepened his head in her. Don't go anywhere, just stay with me like this. Vine smiled nervously. So, how's you feeling right now? He asked with closed eyes and smiled. It's like a dream, she smiled. I don't want to wake up from this dream. It's not a dream, princess. Let me show you. He smirked then attacked on her. Cook, stop. She trying to stop him, but he non-stop, not letting her even breathe. Cook, she pushed him slightly. We need to go to office. Get up. What? Who goes to the office the morning after his wedding? He said irritatedly. Today is very important meeting. You have to attend it. She caressing his hairs. I don't want to go. He hugged her while buried his face in her. Vine smiled. But we have to go, Maiku. She rubs her nose against his. Okay, but in one condition, he said. And what is it? She raised her brows. Let's take her together. Vine eyes got wide and open. Ryan and Jungkook came in the office. Jungkook was behind her, then suddenly Jin come in front of Ryan and hold her wrist. He didn't saw Jungkook behind her. What happened, princess? Why are you stopped? He came and held her waist while looking at Jin with his dangerous eyes. Jin leaves Vine's hand and bowed to him. Nothing, you go first, I'll be back, okay? She said with a smile. Jungkook don't want to leave her with Jin, but he have to. So he just pecked on her forehead with a smile. I'm waiting. Come fast. Vine nodded. Jungkook glared at Jin and left. Hey Hottie, where were you are? I miss you so much. She hugged him tightly. I'm fine, he said while broke the hug. Vine, what I'm hearing. You got married to Jungkook? He looked at Vine. She nodded shyly. And you didn't even think it necessary to tell me? His eyes clearly tells how mad he was with her. Vine's smile faded away. No, Jin, it was so sudden that I didn't have time to tell you. She's trying to explain. And also, you also went to America then. Jin cut her in middle. I didn't die, did I? He raised his voice little bit. Vine flinched. Jin sighed. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but can't you wait for this marriage? Didn't you think it was so hurriedly? He asked, taking a deep breath, make Vine nervous more. Yeah, I know, but Jungkook wants to marry me as soon as possible. He don't want to lose me. He wants to make me his. Her cheeks turned red, and also so she blushed. Didn't you even think why? Why look at him? Why he was so desperate for marriage? Why he is so afraid of losing you? And yeah, why he didn't even let you use your phone, huh? One was so confused. He was right, but she knew Jungkook loved her so much. She believes. Because he loves me. No, because he's a psycho. Jin, she shout. He's a monster.